Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the universe. Welcome to Standing in My Truth. It's all about you show. So I'm making sure that my fine. Oh, I've got fat. Look at this. I've got the lovely room up here. I've got everybody up there. I just want to send out positive affirmations to everyone today. How are you all doing? I've got happy hands. I have the most guest with me today, and I've been dying to get hello everyone in the bloody chat room. I've got to stop saying I'm online now. Got to behave myself. Here we go. Hello. So as I'm touching all these little dials, it's just yes, I can see you. Hi, Dave and Christina Humphreys, who have joined us in the chat room. How are you? Let me feel your energy. I'm trying to feel everybody's energy. I have a wonderful guest, and before I bring him on, I am going to just show. Everyone's probably wondering, who is the BRIXTON Soup Kitchen? Who are they? Tell you something. They are fabulous. It's two guys. You got Solomon Smith and you've got Mohammed Hash. I swear these are great, fabulous guys doing the most amazing things in there. Now, BRIXTON Soup Kitchen has been going for a while, but let me not tell you all about it. I'm going to, but let me just play you this. Understand what I'm talking about. When it decides to play.
I started feeding the homeless when I was 11. My mum would cook like there's 34 people in the school. So I'd just hand out packs to people. I started this in 2013, literally using my own wages from work. I was brought up in a council estate. A lot of people around me at the time were all depressed, thinking that we're failures. To think, yeah, even though I'm in a council house, I've got a bed, turn on the heater. There's a lot of people who can't do that. Who are sleeping on the streets, we're at home, and will do anything to be in our position. You have never experienced homelessness, but this could at any time. The circumstances can change in a week.
Solomon doesn't just help the homeless, he helps his friends. I was going through a bit of myself. Solomon brought me to the soup kitchen. He knows that I love to cook. He used what as a tool for me to overcome, and it worked.
Coming to a place like this, where I
Now, I know you probably wanted to watch the rest, but how about Solomon Smith introducing to you guys, because has a story to tell, and I'd rather than me looking at BBC Three, I'll bring in Solomon for you. So, to everybody out there, please a warm welcome to my Solomon Smith, co-founder of BRIXTON Soup Kitchen. Are you there, Solomon?
Yeah.
How doing?
Fine, I'm fine. How you guys doing?
Hoping you can hear me. I think everybody must be all right because the internet connection. I would say that the country, anyone who's made any money in the lockdown situation, is definitely the internet companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get now. Brilliant. Solomon, welcome and thank you for coming onto my platform, My Truth. We are truly to have you on. And I showed a bit of the video up there, and I'm going to jump straight to the top. and get who you are. And I personally fell in love with you. Solomon, you run the BRIXTON Soup Kitchen. Introduce yourself to everyone and let them know who you are, just briefly.
Hello, my name is Solomon Smith, and I'm the founder of a charity called BRIXTON Soup Kitchen. So, BRIXTON Soup Kitchen is a service that provides hot meals, hot drinks, warm clothes, and just a friendly face to the homeless, needy, and misfortunate. So, I decided to do this charity because I felt that there was a need. Even though there was quite a lot of adverts saying that there was helping homelessness, I just didn't feel that they was coming into urban areas. So I just thought, instead of complaining on social media, I just had to do something about it.
Fantastic. And while you're on the screen, and you know, brick soup based kitchen services for the homeless and people in need, it's not just Brixton. You tend to cover all areas. I'm like, what are you covering?
So the whole of London, you know, we've done a lot of, so we've also, so even though we cater for the homeless, we're an open door policy. So, you know, myself, I worked for local government since I was 16, and a lot of the times a young person wouldn't be allowed to access a service because he wasn't from the area, he wasn't from the postcode. So I just decided that I wanted to create something where we don't care about race, religion, postcode, you know, we're literally blind to all the isms and schisms. And, you know, for us, it's just to let people know that homelessness is everywhere. So, you know, we get people coming from north, east, south, west. We also do an outreach service where we will come to you, give you sleeping bags, hats, gloves, scarves, a lovely, nice hot meal, hot tea. It could even be jackets, jumpers, hats, gloves, scarves. Anything what we can do, man. We as humans, we always think about, oh my God, you know, there's so many people who might be struggling, but we never think of the solution. And, you know, for us, we're more of the solution.
That's beautiful. So I'm going to go take it. I'm going to rest, and I want people to identify with you and why you do it. Please tell tell the viewers where start and why. How old were you?
So I decided that I remember I was probably about 10, 11, you know, coming from a councillor's estate. So it was always, you know, the same rules. So, you know, make sure Jane, I could see you, you know. So I never really knew what it was. I never knew what life was like outside of my estate. So when I got a bit older and I used to go shopping with my mum, you know, I literally used to kind of just walk around, you know, just see different parts of Brixton I've never seen before. And that's when I was literally exposed to homelessness from such a young age. And I was just like, I couldn't fathom me going home, you know, getting a cooked meal, heating, you know, got a bed. But then there was people literally sleeping rough on the floor. And, you know, I remember starting secondary school and, you know, like every Caribbean household, they've got, they would cook like they're cooking for a christening, but it's literally like 3 people in the house. And
yeah.
So like there's a lot of leftovers, and I just decided just to use my mum's leftovers to literally contain food and kind of give it to a homeless since I was about 11 years old. So that's literally kind of how it started for me.
Oh God. And 11 years old, and then you did, you know, so you're having, and you're homeless in your area because you're from South London, right?
Yeah.
But then you went, tell the full story. So you've gone one further. You've now made you continue.
Do you know what? I literally just could not stop thinking about it. So when I was literally going to school, you know, I was doing a lot of projects around homelessness and how we can conquer homelessness. And it was always the same thing. And I was just like, you know what? I feel like I need to do something a bit better. So I was just like, you know, so I'm severely dyslexic. So I left school with no GCSEs. And I just thought, for me, I was a failure. You know, I was thinking, you know, because, you know, teachers always say, you know, for you to make it in life, you know, you have to leave school with good grades, and I didn't leave school with good grades. So for me, I was just like, you know, I don't think this is going to work for me. And that's when I realized I was very good at working with young people. So when I was working with young people, you know, I was very good at, you know, giving them advice, giving them support, and that's when I became a youth worker. And a lot of the young people I was working with was on my estate. So I was quite lucky to have my mum and my dad at home. So we had, you know, a cake cupboard. We had drink in our fridge. We had biscuits and bourbons and custard creams. So I'm thinking, if I go to my friend's house,
don't you make it?
if I go to my friend's house, he's also gonna have the same amount of things that I have. And it's not until I realized he was like, no, if I literally don't go out and steal, I don't get to eat. And that's when I realized that a lot of the problems are close to home. You know, and this guy was literally like about 3 doors away from me. And that's when I was just literally more focusing on young people and focusing on, you know, on poverty. You know, so I decided to go to university, study more about community work and poverty. And the day I finished university is the day I decided to say, do you know what? I want to start my own charity. And that's when BRIXTON Soup Kitchen was born.
But you said this BRIXTON Soup Kitchen was born in university. You didn't study about food. What did you actually fully study while you were there? Were you mentoring while you know, in university?
Yeah. So while I was at university, I was a youth worker for Lambeth Youth Service, and at the time there was a lot of the restructuring. So you know, a lot of the people who was losing their jobs was the youth workers that was there for a very long time but just wasn't qualified. So I was like, you know, I've now got kids. I need to, you know, qualify myself so I can remain and also get a pay rise. So I decided to go to university to study social science and youth and community, despite me being severely dyslexic. So I went to study that, and the day I handed in my dissertation was I literally couldn't sleep. I was literally like, I couldn't stop thinking about work with the homeless. And that was the day I decided that, you know, I wanted to, the day I finished university was to leave work and just focus on creating my own charity.
You go about doing that?
Literally, I done it backwards. So I decided to just use all the connections of me working within the community, you know, looking for empty spaces, researching a lot of different homeless charities. You know, I literally rang up all the homeless charities known to man, and they all was like, "Give it to us." You know, this is not your remit. You know, didn't get no support whatsoever. You know, I literally used to pretend I was homeless.
What, you were actually being what? What, you were getting kickbacks? It was just literally like, no.
Nothing but kickbacks. And it was like, I remember I literally pretended I was homeless, and I went to a soup kitchen in Elephant and Castle just to see how they was run. And, you know, a lot of the times people were forced to pray, and, you know, a lot, you know, when people think of soup kitchens, it's more church based, you know, so a lot of
very.
So a lot of people was kind of like forced into pray, you know, people weren't really religious, but because it was their home, it's their rules, you know. So it kind of taught me to say, you know, I don't want this to be a thing where it's a religion thing. Regardless what race, religion, postcode, sexuality we are, we all go through hardship. You know, we're all hungry. We all need the basic. In Maslow's theory of needs, the main thing is food and water. It doesn't matter what race, religion, postcode, everybody needs the basic need of food. So that was the theory I decided to go on where I was just like, you know, I want to make sure anyone could come for food. You know, I don't want to say, oh, he look homeless, because you can't discriminate. You can never discriminate homelessness. So I get an open door policy.
Yes.
You know, so I literally was able to get a center. So I got a center on my estate, and I was just like, you know, all I want to do is just have homeless people to come in. You know, I didn't expect the soup kitchen to blow up so big. So I literally stole a logo online, put BRIXTON Soup Kitchen on there. I said we're going to be open from these hours. And it was just the hours I done it was the hours I was used to going to university. So Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursday from 10 till 2. So I kind of kept to those hours because my body clock was always getting up at those times. And, you know, I was just saying to everybody, come to the soup kitchen, 10 till 2. You know, I was literally driving around, giving out, making flyers, you know, using my own money to kind of fund it. So I was literally funding flyers, design, kind of going Tesco's. So I started to use my money first before I started to kind of reach out to companies for donations.
So introduce me to your team. I'm going to come back and add on to that. So you used your own money, which is fantastic. That must have been a big burden. But you're getting people to come to the center. Who was cooking the food? So I'm going to show this. This is your team. Introduce me to your team.
So the first one is obviously your truly. That's myself. That's Mohammed Hashi.
Yeah.
So he came probably like about 3-4 months of me kind of starting it. So I didn't really know about policies, procedures, insurance. So he kind of helped with that. So below me is Mike Kalami. So he's a center manager. We've also got Miss Esther right. So Miss Esther is like the mother of the soup kitchen. And we've also got Jennifer, who kind of helps with the emails, the paperwork, all things like that. And also right next to Miss Esther is Becky as well.
Oh, and Becky. Yes, I see Becky right there. See, I made sure I got everybody. I got everybody. And I know that Mohammed is not here out of the story. How did you meet Mohammed?
Do you know, I've known Mohammed for a very long time because we both doing youth work for Lambeth Youth Service. So I've met him as a youth worker. And funny enough, we both come from both different rivalry estates. So I'm from Brixton and Mohammed's from Stockwell. And it was just so funny because a lot of the young people we was working with is that these were the people who was willing to stab and kill, who was on my side, you know. So we created a program called the Exit Program where we got the both young people off the areas, out of their comfort zone, out of their environment, to do team building, for them to kind of work together, etc. And what created an amazing bond. But again, with government funds, you know, government funds always kind of stop. You know what I mean? So that was one of the main reasons I wanted to touch on as well, was on why the soup kitchen never really got government funding.
That's when this actually formed. That's when it was fully created.
Yeah.
And still with your own money.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No.
And who was the cooks? Or who was cooking? Who was cooking?
We was all cooking ourselves, you know. Literally, we was all cooking ourselves. We all learned about cooking on because we never really cooked on big portions before, and the amount of people what was coming in, we was like, we need to cook for everybody, so we learned about, cooking rice in big pots, and because we're so used to cooking meals for ourselves, we had to learn about, the mass amount of food.
And we're used to it. So we're used to big pot food.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Okay, so 2013, here we are, and you're still using your own money. Who was the first to actually recognize that you guys are champions and is just what is needed?
Do you know what was really, really funny? I remember going in, because I said I'm severely dyslexic, the Sun newspaper was the only newspaper that had more pictures than words. And I remember buying that 20p, I bought it home, and my mum was like, "No, bring that newspaper in my house. I reassess newspaper. Me not like them. So that was one of the reasons why I never kind of bought, the Sun newspaper again. It was so funny because what was always in my house was like The Voice and black magazines. So when the Soup Kitchen kind of started up and was starting a bit of a buzz, I was reaching out to all of the black magazines, all of the black newspapers. All now.
All right.
All now. And
I'm not saying nothing.
And when we was at the Soup Kitchen, we saw a brand new car with a bow on it coming towards the Soup Kitchen, and we was just thinking, we don't see that in Brixton. What's going on? And they was getting closer and closer to the Soup Kitchen, and they did us with a brand new car, the Sun newspaper.
Oh my God, is this? I got something where I saw this, and I was going to ask you when.
No, that's when we've purchased the car.
You look to the right.
Yeah.
Because I remember that, and it was scripted. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I didn't see that because I was doing my homework, meticulous doing my homework. That is beautiful. So the newspaper had everything about you guys.
Yeah,
and donated a car for you guys to put your food.
Yeah.
You can't knock the sun, You can't. You can't knock the sun. You can't. You just can't knock the sun. Straight, as you say, I know a lot of people give them bad press, but you just can't. That is beautiful news, and now due to go on and feed more people and outreach to more people than that. What is it? How many coming into your doors after the first year?
So the first year, we was getting easily up to 60, 65 people a day, Monday to Friday. And they were literally coming from East London, North London, visiting a lot of soup kitchens. And there was like, for some reason, your soup kitchen, they don't judge us, they don't tell us what to do. We just come, chill, and it was very overwhelming on the amount of support we was getting. I remember, having a number ringing my phone, and I was just like, who's this? I thought it was someone from Jamaica begging me something, and I was just
come to Jamaica, in a minute.
I was like, should I answer? Should I not answer? And when I answered, it was the head of Nando's franchise in America, saying, we've heard about the work that you've been doing, and we want to come down and have a meeting with you, and we want to see how we can support you. And they came and come down and met with us.
So someone is saying to me, hi Lulu Hyde, Nicholas, Mark Owens, the people in the chat room, which you can't seem to see, and someone is actually that our connection is really poor. I'm not sure because it seemed to be fine at this end, and oh, yours has just jumped up for some reason. Well, let's just hope, because the devil is a liar and we're not believing in that day. So it's all good. Guys in the chat room, keep us abreast. If Lulu says you are an amazing guy.
Oh, thank you.
Mark Owen, yeah, people are actually making it. So I'm hope this connection is really gonna hold out. I seem to be fine, but it's telling us that there's but who cares? We're here right now and they can hear us. You got the 60, 70 people are coming through the doors. Now people are opening up their eyes to see what you're doing. What else happened, is going on? So, because I know I want to take the whole to the end, so I'm not going to give everything away. But it wasn't just food. You're now a nation of clothes. What made you go, one step further?
So again, for me, working for Lambert Youth Service, I didn't really like. There were so many different needs, and people had to go to so many different places. So I was like, I wanted to know, how can I create a lot of services in one building? So I was like, we should do a food bank, we should do a clothes bank, we should do CVs, cover letters, job search, trying to get into training, therapy, mentoring, gardening workshops, training. That is everything that we have at the Soup Kitchen till now. So it was just about just having so many different services just in one building.
And I noticed that because here is it's just little short videos. These are the people that along the way, when you started to do the donation of clothes, I've got you here. This is actually Jamaica, to be in the Soup Kitchen, but I've got pictures of you where, have a look here. So let's go down the line. People started to donate.
Yeah.
Donate clothes in abundance.
Yeah, we was getting clothes. They was giving us, even if it was kind of sleeping bags, gloves, hats, scarves, you name it, we was getting it.
I think it's beautiful. Now, all of this is in, and as I said, I'm going to, as I go along, you don't just cover London, because I've got the city of Lincoln.
Yeah.
You amalgamated the city of Lincoln, the city of Devon. Then you had other affiliates that came on. See, I love showing these photos.
Yeah.
You had NHBC Bank and getting people to come down. Tell me a bit more of all these different affiliations that you've had. So you've had from NHBC Bank, Morley's, you name it, Morrison's. I'm going to put them all up. Keep telling, just, talk away.
So we've had a lot of interest, a lot of social media interest, and we was just like, we're gonna start doing corporate days. So it was so funny because it was like the day we started the Soup Kitchen, we was getting a lot of corporate response, and we was just like, wow, this is crazy, and I think our very first corporate was Viacom. So Viacom, they're in charge of Nickelodeon, they're in charge of TV, etc. And they was like, we want to come down with, 100 of our staff, because we just want our staff just to feel what it's like to be in BRIXTON Soup Kitchen and also just help, and ever since then we've worked with over 80 different corporates of the names of Adidas. It could be Puma, Nike, Nickelodeon, Marks and Spencer's, Body Shop.
Spencer's, yeah. You even had affiliation with Heinz. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did I find? Quite a few affiliations started. You've had attached to yourselves. Now, even you had the affiliation, not just you, it's your team, and your team is still building.
Most def.
You actually have, I'm going to show, you're making the mark. So it's not just these people that are coming in. You actually go into the schools as well, correct?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to try and see if I can find this beautiful video. This is part one. This is one of them that I know that I'm. And come on now, I need to play. Start playing. Here we go. And here's another one. And as I'm going to play this, here we go.
This is our soup kitchen. And we are enjoying our soup kitchen food right now. The food is very nice. We enjoy.
Yeah.
I love her. This is what brings me to you. You then affiliate with, tell the story. You decided to branch out, not just in London, not just the UK. Where did you branch out to, Solomon?
We've decided to go to Miami. So we've done a lot of work in Miami, working with young people. So we've done that for about 4 years. And we've also done some work in Toronto. So we've done about a couple of years in Toronto as well. We're planning on going Ghana, hopefully in the next couple of months, but we're just seeing what's kind of going on with that. But the main thing right now is we're going to be going over so yeah, we've done a lot of work in Jamaica as well, in Kingston.
Okay, when was you going to mention my homeland? I was thinking, why are you mentioning my homeland? How did that come about? Please tell me.
It was just us kind of being in Jamaica, and again, like we found it very hard to lock off. We found it very hard to just be on holiday mode. You know, everywhere we go, we're just like, where's the homelessness? How could we support? How could we help? You know, so we was over in Jamaica about 2 years ago. You know, just driving around Jamaica. You know, I remember just the last time we was in Jamaica. You know, we was in Jamaica like when we was kids. So we didn't get to explore. We didn't get to do what. So now we're older. You know, going Jamaica by ourselves. We're driving up and down, seeing how the roads are a bit better now. You know, we're all driving now, and I've started to realize that everything was Ray and Nephew. I was like, everywhere I go, I see Ray and Nephew. So I was just like, you know what? Let me reach out to Ray and Nephew. I reached out to Ray and Nephew, had a meeting with them, and I was like, I want to start a soup kitchen. You know, I really want to start a soup kitchen in Jamaica. I wanna just have a center where they can come, get food, get support, and, you know, just help, you know, build the economy in Jamaica. You know, so, you know, Ray and Nephew was very, very supportive. But again, unfortunately, the what do you call them? The politicians over there is literally what's holding everything back.
Oh, why am I not surprised? You know, it's why I am so not surprised, and it's a shame. Even though you were out there for that short period of time, the fact that you made that difference to do that, easy thing to do, to go to Jamaica to do that. And, you know, I'm not just an islander. I actually went to school. Part of my education was in Jamaica. So I lived there for 4 or 5 years. So I know how difficult that must have been to cut through the red tape to make that happen.
Yeah.
You know, that must have been a lot. How receptive was Miami? Because I know you had the Miami connection. How receptive?
Miami was very, very receptive. You know, we got a lot of people over there helping us, you know, even just collecting donations, making food packs, delivering it out. And that's still going on till now. So, you know, the work in Miami is amazing.
That is okay. So I'm going to come back. We're going to bring us to the UK. COVID has, and not just the homeless. It knocked everyone. How about we say that we are all on a clean slate. It doesn't matter what job we've had. It doesn't matter how much of our savings or money that we've had. We've been in lockdown in over a year now. So you know, how difficult have you seen the homelessness or food banks close, all of the how is that? What have you seen?
For us, it has been absolutely crazy. For us, you know, we're a bit like daredevils. We couldn't abide by the rules. We just couldn't. Because if we decided to abide by the rules, who would be eating? So we was just like, you know, when you really don't care about the consequences, when you really fight for something, the consequences don't even matter. We was like, you know,
Yeah.
we need to be out there. You know, so many food banks is closing. Our number is absolutely going crazy. Our phone was going, oh my God, this bank is closed and we don't know where we're going to get our next meal. And we was just like, guys, we need to be out there. We have to be out there. So we decided to close our doors at the soup kitchen, but be more of a response team. Be more of a be of kind of going out, you know, giving sleeping bags, meals, face masks, hand sanitizers. You know, we just decided to we just needed to still be out there.
And did you get your patrons and your people who have been donating and being, you know, alongside you before COVID, were they able to still supply you? You know, you having to, you know, beg, steal, and borrow?
No, a lot of the people who were donating to us couldn't donate because there was like, we ain't got no drivers. A lot of your donations is stuck in the shipments. No one's not coming to work. Everybody's scared. You know, a lot of our stuff we rely on is people coming in from like them going shopping, and a lot of people was panic buying. So it was just very hard. It was so hard.
But you got around that. You were able to get around that because not just the food that you were getting, you were still able to get clothes being brought in that you can still hand out. Because prior to all of that, you as you said earlier, you did help, you know, the homeless to fill in application forms, try and find jobs, whereas there's no job. So that must have been really difficult.
Yeah, oh man, that I literally cannot fathom how we actually got through that. That first lockdown for everyone was something else. Something I've never seen or heard of before. It's stuff you see on TV, you know, and for us, we was just like, this is our calling and we need to do something about it. You know, homeless people were saying, you know, we're still on the streets. You know, we rely on the walkful of people just walking by, giving us £1, 20p, and for the road to be totally empty, you know, I've never seen the amount of support what was needed like that ever in my life.
That's awful, because and also, you know, they need toiletries. They need to be able to still be able to, because of the distancing, they have to try and wash themselves, and all of that must have been alien to you for not being able to have them all in a bus.
Yeah, literally, you know, a lot of the shops, you know, believe it or not, we get a lot of support from, it could be from the big high-end shops, and for them to all be closed, You know, they were like, this has affected us in a big way. You know, because we can't open, we can't give you donations, we can't open, we can't make money to make you guys money. You know, we get a lot of money donations from people in shops, and you know, people who puts on events. You know, no events, you know, means no funds.
Christmas must have been even difficult, because I remember getting a post that you were doing, and I plastered it up all over my you know, my Facebook and my Instagram, and we shared amongst, there was loads of us that shared, you know, that post that you had at Christmas. And you know, again, that must have been really, really difficult. So, you know, talk me through that situation, because how did that work?
So with Christmas, we open our doors every Christmas. You know, a lot of our staff sacrifice their amazing families to be with the homeless, and I'm so thankful. So now, COVID, we literally have to do things different. So we literally have to kind of find ways to kind of still keep the Christmas spirit going, but you know, have it in bubbles. You know, certain people, if you leave, you know, it's going to be hard for you to re-enter because then somebody else comes in. It was just so much red tape. So much red tape. It was very, very stressful.
Solomon, that you know, and the funny thing is, you are putting yourself. Good evening, hey Lulu again. Hi. Hey Joe, I'm talking to everyone in the chat room that you can't see, because it's just about 3 different chat rooms. So I've got one up here, I've got one down here, and I've got one over here. But I will make sure to see all of this when I send you back the clips and everything else. But it's not even about that. The love that is being shown to you right now, it's been truly amazing. So I'm going to bring it right back here. You've got you and your co-founders, you've got the rest of your team. And if people, you know, are you bringing in other volunteers right now? Because I'm sure you need them.
Yeah, so we've been, we usually get like 6-7 volunteers a day. We've had to cut that down just because of the safety of the volunteers and the service users. We're still not allowed service users allowed in the building. So it's just about getting volunteers to make up food packs, hot meals, and literally just deliver it outside. You know, this is literally.
How are you coping with the bit? You know, Marcus Rashford had this thing of school meals, and I know that you guys involved in you know, you run competitions. You started a football, I think it's the Street FC or the street team, but you
Yeah.
that's not because of COVID. You've had to sort of seize that, correct?
Yeah.
How did the first event go before it shut down?
So we're working with a guy called Pat, who I grew up with, and he's got his football team called BRIXTON. So they've literally been supporting us, and again, it's for the young people. Our main thing is about the young people, helping them to get football kits. So we're also working with Rio Ferdinand as well, and you know, he's kind of with the young people as well. Also working with Idris Elba. So Idris Elba was down with us a couple months back, just learning the ropes and how we work at the soup kitchen, getting donations, things like that. You know, also working with Jessie Ware, Tessa Jow as well.
Yeah, I've got.
Yeah, so
I can see you've got your ambassadors. Here you go.
Yeah, so we've just been so lucky, you know, just to have the amount of people just supporting and who's just being there and just being able to help. Yeah, you know. Sorry.
No, I was going to say you've got your patrons, but I think one of the saddest stories is when I read that Tessa, who passed away. She was one of you know. That was a big hit, wasn't it? Really.
Most deaf, because Tessa Jow, you know, even though she was, you know, an MP, and you know, she gave a lot of time for me. She literally gave a lot of time for me. You know, I remember when she was talking to me about bringing the Olympics to the UK. You know, so she single-handedly made the Olympics happen for 2012. You know, and again, my ignorance, I thought the Olympics was in the UK.
Yeah.
You know, so every time I'm watching it, you know, when she was saying, yeah, you know, ain't it here already? You know, she made it happen. You know, so yeah, man, I've got so much, man.
Yeah, and I read that and I didn't realize. I mean, you've also got well, I call her Ab Fab, you know, Patsy. Yeah. She's your patrons as well.
Yeah. And she literally is local as well. She's literally local.
Oh right, okay. So she's just bang on the doorstep. She's actually hilarious. And when I saw that, I thought, oh, that's absolutely beautiful. I know that you've had like you've had from AJ Tracy, you said you've had Idris, you've had Modin, you've had a lot of celebrity support as well, as I said, prior to going into lockdown. Do you still find that there's people out there, apart from your volunteers, are people still receptive of trying to help you out?
Yeah. But I think right now it's made it harder for people to want us to support because they're still figuring out their own lives now. You know, their lives what was so fast moving, where they're now like, oh my God, there's no work, there's nothing really going on. You know, it's going to be hard for them to want to support when they need to support themselves. You know, so
you know, said that.
Yeah, so we're literally just here patiently waiting. You know, we're letting people know that, you know, we're still here. We'll pop up a post just to let you know we're still here, guys. We're still here. Whenever you're ready and you've sorted yourself out, come on board.
You also you don't keep everything to yourself. You also has been with working alongside Hearts and Helpers, and you've got the CC with CNC Foundation with Feki and such. How is that all coming together? Because I mean, it's come ready. I love the collaboration. That collaboration is beautiful. There's no egos involved. It's all about supporting each other.
And that's the main thing, you know. I love it. You know, I love it when I'm hearing people saying, Solomon, man, the work you're doing is amazing, and you know, I want to do it. You know, I get a lot of emails. People saying, you know, they want to set up a soup kitchen in America and in Spain, and you know, and I any need, I'm here. You know, I've always thought if we all work together, we can make the world a better place. You know, so right now
my God, you are changing the narrative.
We're working with the CC Foundation, with Feki, doing amazing work. We're helping right now doing stuff with Hearts and Helpers, doing absolutely amazing work. There's a guy who we've also met as well, called Back to Your Feet. He absolutely amazing. He literally goes out every day, you know, just giving out food, hot meals, literally does outreach every day, and he does it by himself. You know, Two Shades of Life, they're based in North London, doing amazing work. You know, Jamaican Soup Kitchen, so we're doing a lot of work with Jamaican Soup Kitchen. You know, so we're just, our main thing, man, is, you know, I want to be, you know, sitting on those big, high MP boards for homelessness. You know, not talking about, you know, the isms and schisms. I want to know what could be done to help homelessness.
And, you know, this is something else. Remember I mentioned to you about the schools and you run competitions. And I remember a little girl, and I'm hoping I can find this video because there was just so much videos. I'm going to go, and I'm also going to come back to, let me see if this is the one I'm looking for. Play.
George, Geraldine, yes, later, tomorrow, yeah? I mean later. Yeah, I'll be there about 5, yeah? I'll be there. All right.
Thank you. Mum.
So now that was that Franco's Pizzas?
Yeah, Franca Banca. So they support us every Monday.
That's it. I love their pizzas. You're making me really hungry. And they are also affiliated with you. The video I was actually looking for is a lady who was on Coco, and you were talking to her, and she turned round and said to you, sitting there, and she turned around and you donated some money to her, and she said the money that she had won, she was going to give it to the homeless.
Yeah. So basically, she was actually paid. So her name is Aprona, and she was paid. Her first job was to be on Coco magazine, and she said,
"That's right.
I want to give to the homeless." So we went cash and carry, and we bought some bits for the soup kitchen. Powerful.
This is what you're doing. Do you understand? It's the power that me. That got me. And I look at the power of humble. Look at the power of changing the narrative. She didn't have to do that. She could have been very selfish and I want this mummy, but she didn't. She gave it back, and I'm hoping that for anyone that watches this back, I'm hoping still people, lovely, the people that and those that are here, please go to the website or go to Solly's, I call him Solly, it's Solomon's, which is a Brixton Soup Kitchen Instagram. He will add you. It's open. Go and see and watch all the things that you've done. Now, before I get out of here, Solomon, I know as you said earlier, it's really, really difficult. A lot of things in your time from 2013 to date. Yeah. You've had your detractors, but you've made it within the Brixton Soup Kitchen. You've gone into the. That's one of the things I wanted to ask you. How Marcus Rashford was talking meals. You were doing this already. Am I correct?
Yeah. But then you have to understand, sometimes when people's got like a large following, they could kind of push it out more and make it sound much more amazing. But little old us from Brixton Soup Kitchen, we rely on people kind of pushing out the work that we do. So we've always, for myself, working as a youth worker, I remember I used to identify about 6 or 7 young people who weren't eating. So I decided to bring a new service into the youth service, was for us to cook at the youth clubs. So when we're cooking at the youth clubs, we're focusing on the 6 people, but instead of embarrassing the 6 people, we make sure everybody eats. So while everybody's eating, the 6 people are definitely going to be going home eating. So I've made sure I focused on that with young people. So there's a lot of young people who don't get free school meals after when it's on holiday. So we call it holiday hunger. So we've been doing holiday hunger for about 3 years, where every half term we would make around 50 food parcels and give it out to young people. That was backed by the Mayor's Fund. Hopefully that could start back again after the pandemic's gone as well. And we've also done, from us working with all the corporates as well, we've done a back to school drive. So after the 6 weeks holiday, we know that parents stress about getting school uniform, getting book bags, getting pencil case, like a school starter kit. So we reached out to all the corporates we was working with. Puma donated 200 rucksacks. Asda donated trousers, jumpers. The pound shop donated pens, pencils. We also got pencil cases and pens from WH Smith, and we literally just made sure at least 150 to 200 kids were able to go to school looking fresh.
Oh my God. I could sit here and listen to you have implemented within what you're doing, and don't realize that it's corporate, it's donations, it's not the, it's the hard work that you're putting in. Even when it's still not coming in, you're seeing it. When do you find time for yourself?
Well, the main thing, what I always do when I'm at home, I come home,
love it.
Got a bottle of rum, and we play Ludo.
I love it. That reminds me of being back home in Jamaica. Ludi board, I love it. Family as well, so it's not easy.
Yeah, so I've got two kids.
It can't be easy, you've got a family to maintain, and I mean, if you're my daddy, I'd be so proud of you. As that, so they must be well proud of you. Yeah. Finally, when we lock down, will you still be implementing? Because you've got a podcast.
Yeah, so
you got a podcast for the youngsters.
Yeah.
So people need to know that for the youngsters, you've got computer school.
Yeah.
For the homeless, you allow their haircut when we get back. Before we went to COVID, all of that will be starting up again. You'll be allowing people to come back and fill in forms, know about their benefits. Is it universal credit? You've also, I'm not getting out here before I even say put it up. You've also got 9 lawyers advice.
Yeah. So they're called lawyers in the soup kitchen.
That's mad.
Yeah.
You could give out for benefits, appeals, debts, housing, childcare. Now, even though you're doing all these, the soup kitchen, here I'm putting up the information. I'm throwing this up for any who can. People still donate food to you?
Yeah.
Is there through COVID? So,
food right now,
donate food items that you. So it can still donate non-perishable goods, toiletries and clothes, and make sure that they're a good condition. And if people want to, they can email you at BRIXTONSOUPKITCHEN.com. And I'm going to put on my page the Get Funding page link, a registered charity. And so that will allow them to still, donate while we are still. Also got how to volunteer, but I guess at this present moment in time, volunteering is not going to be the done thing because you're still in lockdown.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. Is there any else? Me personally, as Bill Hearn, great work, Solomon, truly awesome. And it's in there. I'm not even looking in the chat room because I can't be asked. I'm just I like my conversation. You're amazing, and it's the hour. I can't believe an hour has gone so quickly already. Solomon, is there anything you want to offer up to let other people, educated man, and your co-founder, which let's just give him let me just give him a quick shout out, your co-founder. Let's get him back up here because he's so, isn't he not? Is he nominated? Because he's called Dr. Muhammad Hashi,
Yeah,
isn't he?
yeah. So about 2 years ago, I was awarded my master's for doing the soup kitchen,
Yes.
and because he's already done his master degree, he was awarded his doctorate.
Oh wow. And I think he's now a counselor. Is that correct?
Yeah, so he's a local councillor for
Is he now a counselor?
Yeah.
For your constituency, which is Lambeth.
Yeah.
I want to thank you coming on and sharing your story with me today. Work that you have been given. I'm going to make sure that this is already on fit. This is already YouTube. This is already on Cloud. This is already, and I will make sure that the rest of it is said to you, and it will go onto Insta. I know you do people like myself, but I needed my audience to hear your story, because I know that some of the things is before Marcus Rashford, and a copious amount of a lot of people, and you deserve. Trust me, I am surprised that you haven't got an CBE, and we need to fight for you to get one of them. The whole of the Brixton Soup Kitchen. Love to your family. I want you to give the last parting words. What words can you offer? Because you're mentoring, you try to keep people's spirits up on your pages in general, COVID or not. What parting information can you give my audience today?
I would say, guys, please, just always appreciate what you have, appreciate who you have around you. We tend to wait for a loved one or a friend to kind of reach out to say that they're struggling, or that they're going through hardship. And a lot of people have a lot of pride, so a lot of people suffer in silence. So what we need to do better. We need to start reaching out to people. Go into your phone book, slide up, press call somebody, have a conversation, see how people are doing, because we never know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's words of wisdom coming from Solomon. I'm with the next, Chris Dubry's watching, fantastic. Kay Kapoor says, please keep up the good work, for what you guys are doing. When we get out of lockdown, because it would have been lovely to have sat in front of you on a one-to-one. When we do come out of lockdown, you start to put the football tournament together, allow mum down and film it. Give yourself at least 3 or 4 months to get everything back up and physically show in place with, and if you'd allow me, to come back again, to get more of a, it's lovely when it's more personable. Now, I just want to thank you and everyone in the chat room that they've just said, keep up the great work. A lot of people are football, but I'm sneaking in and watching. Supporters. So my team don't play already. So I'm all right. My team's played already, and they, you know what I mean. But I know a lot of people have been watching football. Keeping my eye on. Sorry, I'm watching football. But thank you again for taking your time. It's been a tiring day. I know you've just shut up shop and you just want to chill out. It's a pleasure. And from everyone in my chat room, from my audience to yourself, God bless you. Stay safe and keep your family safe. And I'll speak to you flip side. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody else. If you stay in the green room just for 2 seconds, I'll come back to you. But from my audience right now to Solomon, thank you. I hope he hasn't gone and left. Whee! Oh, he's frozen. All right, he's going to sit there for a little while. Listen, everybody, I don't know if my internet likes me or not, but that's neither here or there. Thank you so much for tuning in. There are so many people out there doing the most amazing work, before COVID, and it's now been. And can you imagine the way that COVID is? These guys are still they're a key worker. Let's not get this twisted. They are key workers, and they are still putting it there for other people, as people disadvantaged. Do not do that, because there are people who have lost their homes through lockdown because of their age. They've lost their jobs, and everything has, that we planned our lives. You end up losing your home. You've had to move a flat, or it's fallen through. Lord's gone broke. So let's not stigmatize homelessness. Let's just say it's, people have just had a luck. And what the kitchen does, they don't judge. They just help, because they know what it's like to not have. And no matter how fortunate you are, anything can happen to you at any time. So me personally, from myself to everyone out there, me again next week, where I've got a wonderful guy talking about mental health for men. This is all for you, for men. I've got mental health for men on It's All About You show. And not forgetting, on Saturday, I have the wonderful Bill and David Glebe, who are the authors of Football's Black Pioneers. They're going to be joining me at 9 a.m. Saturday show. And and there's one more thing I want to say before I leave out of here. I know it's hard with all the parents in lockdown. I know it's hard when your kids want to go to the park. I know it's hard to be still isolated. Remember, we should still be shielding and isolating out of lockdown. To the parents who have lost their children to life or gun crime, I, as a parent, I cannot even imagine the pain through. I am mad for you, upset for you. I don't understand why these youths are doing what they're doing in lockdown. The narrative has to change, and the only way this narrative is going to change is if everybody stands in their truth and communicate change to happen. We need to reach out, and I'm going to care. It is, it's standing in my truth. I'm reaching out to these thugs to say why. Do not hide behind mental health. Please do not hide behind peer pressure. That's someone's life that you have taken. Spare a thought, everybody, when you go to bed tonight, for every parent that has lost a child through or knife crime, the county lines, etc. Because they're out there working their socks off, their tits off to make for everybody. Think about that. And that's my parting words tonight. Positive affirmations to you all. God bless, and thank you as always to anybody that tunes in or watch the replay. I, Maxfield, is eternally grateful for your company. Good night and God bless.